new system of elections happening. Yeah. Thanks, Chrissy. Yeah, that's what we need. All right, so we welcome Pam Richardson. Nice to see you.
Yeah, tēnā koutou, tēnā
Far
koutou,
away.
tēnā koutou katoa. So I am a farmer, and I work very closely with North Canterbury Rural Support Trust, which is an organisation that's vital in times of strife. I'm just going to pick out a couple of things from this is my personal submission as first. And the first one is about inundation and erosion, and it's happening across Banks Peninsula. So here is a photograph of around the Pigeon Bay foreshore. In August 2011, we planted this area up. Today, that's what it looks like. The area was quite an area of planting. That lamppost was on the land. Today, it's surrounded by stones, and the water surrounds it when there's a high tide. So what I'm asking for is I've done this several times before, and I know Lyttelton is in the process of looking at the inundation and erosion in the Lyttelton Harbour. I know that the community board might have asked that Akaroa and other areas on Banks Peninsula perhaps become the second tranche, but I'm asking that we look for some simple solutions that we could have as a community to just keep it back a little longer. That is the road into round into the bay on the left there that you can see, and the next photograph looks the other way. It comes from the bridge and goes round into the village part. So you can see how the post won't fall over because the Orion have put things down below that will keep it there. So all I'm doing is asking for that we can work with council to come up with a process that will allow to do it. We did do it around the War Memorial, which is in a reasonable condition now, and working with park rangers. The other one is our water supplies in Banks Peninsula. Both the Devotionals and the Pigeon Bay have got issues with them at the moment. Pigeon Bay has got a glossy sign on, flashing sign, conserve water, and Devotionals, they're carting water when it rains. So I want to know we as a community want to know what's happening. We want an update on that. So I'll just leave it there. I hope you've read my submission. It's short. You should be able to read it. Any questions on that?
Right, so we've got just over 2 minutes. Have we got any questions for Pam? Anyone?
Will there be some actions? Will they generate actions with Pam on those updates she's asking for?
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm keeping a bit of a list of what people are kind of asking, but I guess staff are doing that as well.
Like an action track up Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, given the couple of points you raised, Pam, which are really valid, it would be good if we can get internally generated some feedback to Pam on those issues.
Be great. Really appreciate that, because I've done it before and we've had no feedback. So would appreciate that.
So Pam, when you're talking about inundation and erosion and community input to sort of help to mitigate that, A, are you talking temporary, and B, what form would that look like? What are you thinking?
Well, the rest of this bay has got rock. It's got stone walls and concrete walls, of which the council repaired some concrete walls. There's not an easy solution to this. You can see the road's right there, and it's not a good answer to say to me, right, we'll let that road disappear and then we'll do some major work on it. So if there was something that we could do, just simple, a rock wall, it was simple, that we get approval from ECAN, and that we could do it together as a partnership.
Yeah. So is that the main road around?
Yes, that's the main road into the township, into the foreshore at Pigeon Bay.
Yeah.
And then if you go the other way, and you'll see the other way, if you read this, recently we had a major car accident on State Highway 75, and they used the access round through Port Levy, over the Holmes Bay, over into Holmes Bay, and around, into Akaroa that way. So this would also impact that if it's not looked at reasonably soon, it will also perhaps prevent another access to Akaroa.
Does it ever get the high tide come over the
Yes,
road?
the high tide does come up, not there, but around a bit further it comes over the wall. No, this is just erosion hitting the bank and wearing away the soil.
Yeah. Okay. Tyrone, have you got something?
Very quickly,
Yeah.
if I may. So Pam, kia ora, Pam. So you mentioned briefly the sort of the coastal hazards adaptation planning stuff, and I know that you want simple solutions kind of brought forward, but in principle, you would support an increase in that program to
Yes.
be able to, because as I understand it, there's only 4 staff currently input, and they're doing Littleton Harbour, but it would be great to be able to.
Yeah, maybe it's a long-term plan solution,
Yeah.
but it needs to be addressed before we lose everything.
Yeah, no, cool.
Yeah,
Thank
but
you.
it also needs to be addressed through that process, and I don't think there's any other real way around it. But what we've heard from Banks Peninsula is they want to be like the second cab off the rank. There's a willingness for community engagement there. I think that's coming through. Alrighty, thank you. So now we've got Pam Richardson.
Yeah, the Federated Farmers submission. Look, we've been coming for a long time, and Nick Clark has been coming with us, but this morning he hasn't been able to come. He's had a recent bereavement in the family. But I've been coming with him for a number of years too. So our bullet points there give us a summary of what we're looking for. A couple of years ago, in 2021, we talked about no surprises approach in our annual plan submission. And it was agreed that there would be a rural forum would be considered. And then at the end of last year, when we had a whole lot of things impacting, it was decided that it would be left until this year. So it hasn't been begun. But I see that as an ideal way of, if you know what the issues are, and you can debate them and you can resolve some of those together. And in 1.5, we're talking about all of the new things that are coming in. And then the other important part about it is that we could actually look at civil defence and working with how we're going to work together. And we have got civil defence and we work closely with them. But if we had a major event on Banks Peninsula, we need to be very, very active in how we actually all work together. We cannot afford to be lost. So that could be considered as part of that rural forum. We also did provide at the time some information about the Auckland Community Board, or the Auckland District, and they did have a rural forum up there, which we can certainly provide again. But John Filsell was quite keen that we actually progressed with it, so I'm a bit surprised it hasn't come back to us, but no.
Yeah, and I think we need to get some information on that.
Yes. But quite happy to be a part of that.
Yeah.
No surprise policy. And I just must say how much we enjoy working with the council staff. Nick did ask a question around the rating system and had a very quick reply from Tessa Zant and the financial team. And then if we just go to the back page and talk about the capital program, and it's important that we actually focus on what other things are important to our city. So, but I'd imagine that the long-term plan is going to be quite a considerable project, and maybe an increase in funding for us all if we're going to deal with the issues that we're dealing with.
Yes. All right, so that's you. For
Is
now?
there any questions?
I was going to ask that. Are there any questions? I just wanted to make sure you'd finished. Yanni?
Just picking up and appreciate the submission. Just to kind of clarify or ask the question, are you suggesting that we write to central government to seek an increase in the rates relief that they can give for low income?
Well, if there is
an
an opportunity, but that rates rebate has been at $500 for quite some time.
Yeah.
And there are other that have gone up recently. The other benefits have gone up recently.
So it's the income threshold and the quantum.
Yes.
So I think that's a really good suggestion. Can we make sure we capture that? I think I raised it in the draft as well, but it'd be good to do that.
Yeah, because the income threshold's really low, isn't it?
Well, especially, the cost of living going up. I think would be
And
good.
to make it easier for people to apply for it, because there may be a number of people out there that
Just
don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
I know you send things about it in the rates, but no, it might be helpful to provide a bit more assistance.
Cool. Thank you.
Thanks, Yanni. So we've captured that. Those are 3 points. All right.
So there are a lot of ticks in our submission from Federated Farmers too that have been very helpful. So, yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks, Pam, for your continual good work for the community. It's fantastic.
Well, I enjoy it, and I wouldn't do it if I didn't enjoy it. Yeah, so,
Thank you.
and it's about getting the best out of people.
Yeah, together.
All good. Thank you.
Thanks. All right, so that's those two. Mary Gray.